Morning Wake Up 1320 WILS here on your MLK Day 2017. A lot of people with the day off. Hopefully you get a chance to listen in anyway. Of course, the podcast always here online at 1320WILS.com, and you've got the TuneIn app. There's lots of ways to connect with the show. And of course, our Twitter, my Twitter and the show's Twitter, and the station Twitter as well. Well, 2017 is here. Duh, Dave. And some people might want to make a change or two in the way they approach their finances. Maybe too late to save you money on the taxes that you're doing right now. That's for your 2016 tax year. But in terms of how you approach your tax liability, the way that you protect the assets that you do have and the revenue and income you do have coming in, maybe it is time to hit the proverbial reset button. Well, what would that mean for the average person or you, the average listener, here in the year 2017? Let's find out this morning with Leonard Raskin, personal finance expert and the CEO of Raskin Global. Leonard, good morning.
Good morning, Dave. How are you?
I'm doing good. I appreciate you, as I always say to our guests, taking the time out from a busy schedule to join us. I don't know if there is a reset button completely with finances, because if you ever try to do that, I mean, most people have various things going at different times, and, to wipe them all, to wipe the slate clean might be a little bit dangerous, but maybe as you approach things piece by piece, first things first, what would you tell and advise people here in 2017 if they really think, look, I could be doing better than what I am?
Well, the first thing I would say is have a good accounting of where you're spending your money. Make sure that you've got a budget. We tell people whether you're making $30,000 a year, $300,000 a year, $3 million a year, have a budget. Know what's coming in. Know where it's going. If you don't know where it's going, it leaks everywhere. So make sure you know where those dollars are going and have a plan. Doesn't have to be rigid, but have something in your financial system that says, this is what we spend on this category of stuff, and we're not going to spend more than that. We're not going to blow through money without consciously knowing where it's going. So item number one, have a budget.
Have a budget, and as part of that, it isn't terrible to have a little bit of fun money. We call it discretionary, but even amongst discretionary, you want to make sure that you're allotting. I'm not talking about the money you sock away for an emergency. I'm talking about something where you say, we're going to allow ourselves to have a good time, even if we're trying to stick to a strict budget, so that you don't drive yourself crazy. Life is worth living, but having your discretionary be part of that, and even allotting for the fun amount, that shows that you're at least planning, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Put in there your vacations. Put in there some travel. Put in there the entertainment.
Yeah.
If you like going to the symphony, if you like going to the sporting events, put it in there. Just know that you have to enjoy your life. It's not all about saving for tomorrow, but it's certainly about having an idea of where it's going, and most people just don't. They just spend it. They don't think about it, and unfortunately, the way they spend it is we don't spend cash anymore, so they tap it on a credit card, and they tap it on their phone, and then the bill comes in, and they overspent, and now they've got 15% interest to pay on what they spent.
My dad always told me, he always said, buddy boy, when you have to hand over cash, you look at it, and it's harder to get it out of your grip versus the plastic. I mean, you look at it in your hand, and you don't want to hand it over. You don't want to count the He's right. And we live in such
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, he's totally right. Even if you got 4 quarters, that looks like something more than, a dollar that comes off your car. Well, it's just another dollar. But that thing making the clinking in your pocket, that sounds like something tangible, because it is until it isn't. So what do you tell people who get lost in that digital mirage out there where it all looks so easy, we can track it so easily, and that part's true, or we could ignore it just as easily, and that part's bad?
Yeah, I say, look, convenience is good. If you can pay the bill when it comes in, convenience is great. But don't forget that it's real money. I had a gentleman tell me once he had $5,000 in the bank. He had a $5,000 line of credit on his credit card, so he could spend $10,000 with no problem. I said, whoa, wait a minute here. No, it doesn't work that way. You spend the 5 on the credit card, that is the 5 in cash. You don't have 10, you only have 5. The problem is we're not taught. Nobody teaches financial literacy in school. And we get out of school. Parents don't teach it to kids. It's a kind of taboo subject, talking about money for a lot of families. So it's a good thing your dad told you what he did. I mean, it's great information. You have to start young. You have to be disciplined. And if you start on the wrong path, before you know it, your credit score is gone. You're meeting with a bankruptcy attorney. It's just bad stuff.
Well, and his take was back in the day, look, he wasn't perfect either, but, and he didn't buy everything with cash, but he tried to. But he always had that mindset of even going down to the hardware store with him. If I've got the cash in my hand, I'm looking at it. Do I really need this? Do I really want to part with this piece of green? And sometimes he'd go, nah, I don't. I can get by without that for right now. And it made him rethink. Now, that's always, to me, a good thing. You made a great point with the $5,000, and then you got the credit, and then telling people, yeah, you could spend the $5,000 that you have in the bank, and you could use the other $5,000 credit. And so you say, well, I'm out $10,000. Oh, no, you could be out way more than that, because now you're paying the interest on that. That changes the equation. And not only are you out the $10,000, you're out maybe a couple of more grand once you get through the interest.
Yeah, 15, 20% on the interest accruing on something you didn't need in the first place.
Yikes.
It's really, really expensive.
How hard is this for most people to grasp? Because I think it's, it's so easy to go, buying and buying and buying and spending or whatever, and that's the easy way. How hard is it for people to make this kind of a move like you're talking about and live within a budget and mark it down and stick to it, like a New Year's resolution for losing weight?
I think I was just going to say, I think it's like everything else. Everybody knows that to lose weight, you have to move more and eat less. But it's so hard to do. Everybody knows that to put away money, you have to spend less, save more. Doesn't make it easy. If it was easy, there'd be a lot more wealthy people. We want it now. We're marketed to, we buy, and it's just a mentality you have to overcome. Here's another thing, though, I would say to your listeners. If you're saving, if in your budget you have a line for savings and investment, and you're putting away 15% of your gross income a year, well, then you know what? The rest of it's okay. You'll be able to pay those bills and spend. But if you're not putting away enough, you'll never get ahead. If you put away 15% of your gross a year, I promise you can live on the rest. You just have to get in the habit of doing it. You don't have to do it all at once. Save 3%, save 5%. You get a raise, save more of the raise. Get to that 15% as soon as you can once the credit cards are gone, and you won't miss it. You'll live fine on what you have.
Leonard,
so you can buy the cell phone.
Yeah.
You can buy the cell phone a year after it comes out. You don't have to buy the brand new one.
Yeah, it's good advice from Leonard Raskin here, personal finance expert, CEO of Raskin Global. Leonard, appreciate you coming on the program here on this MLK Day 2017. This is 1320. This is your morning wake up on WILS.